Hi everyone, welcome to Sisters for Fi, where the FI stands for Financial Independence. I am Catherine Agupchan, and here at Sisters for Fi, we help you manage your money better so that you can live a life of impact today and tomorrow. In this video, we are going to talk about the ABLE account. The ABLE account is a tax advantage account that people with disabilities can open. A few weeks ago, CNBC's Millennial Money series featured Britt Dorton, a paralegal living in Chicago, Illinois. In that video, which I will share in the description as well as I'll link a card up so you can watch it, Britt shares that she suffers from Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which affects her body's connectivity tissue, as well as complex regional pain syndrome, which affects her arms and legs. And in that video, Britt shares how her disability has affected her finances. First, I am so glad that she shared her story. She brought to light very important topics, namely how a disability can affect someone's personal finances as well as their overall quality of life. A disability can affect not only someone's expenses, but their earning potential and the way that they need to manage money for today and tomorrow. So today I want to share with you a resource called the ABLE account. It is both a saving and an investment account that people with disabilities can open. It is meant as a supplement to existing government programs, and it is a private account that you will need to fund with your own money or contributions from family and friends. And the goal of the account is to privately supplement your income needs or your needs to pay for expenses down the line through investments or savings in this account. Because this is a supplement, it won't affect means-tested programs like the FAFSA, HUD, or the SNAP food benefits program. There is an impact on SSI, but the limit is fairly high, and I'll cover that in a little bit more detail. Graham Stephan, in his popular reaction video to the Millennial Money series, and specifically to this video, advised that Britt should and could put some of her earnings in a Roth IRA so that she could save money for the long term. And I wholeheartedly agree with that advice as well. But I will also share that I think the ABLE account could also be very useful here for those with a disability, with a qualifying disability, as another way to save, invest, and ensure you have enough for the future. Now, just a reminder that the content in this video is for educational purposes only. It is not strictly financial advice, so I do recommend that review your personal situation and take action accordingly. So the big question is, what is an ABLE account? An ABLE account is a tax advantage account that individuals with disabilities can open and fund. The ABLE account was established through the ABLE Act, which was passed in 2014 with broad support from Congress. The ABLE Act stands for Achieving a Better Life Experience. The goal of the ABLE account is to provide another way for individuals with disabilities to save and invest and ensure they have the funds to help them as they grow older and ensure they have the funds to help with their quality of life. The ABLE account is a fairly new account, and it cannot be opened at your traditional brokerage firms. So we do need to educate more people about it so we know that it's available. If this video has been helpful, or you think you might know someone who could use the ABLE account, I encourage you to share this video and let them know that this account type exists. How do ABLE accounts work? ABLE accounts work very similarly to 529 plans. They are state-run programs. For many of the programs, you do not need to live in the state However, if you are an in-state resident, you might receive additional benefits if you use the program within that state. This means there may be options to receive a state income deduction if you use your state's program. I will have some links in the description so you can look up your state program and see if it works for you. So just like a 529 plan, you would put money into an account, and that account can grow over time through interest, dividends, or capital gains. When you are ready to withdraw that money, as long as you are using that money to pay for expenses related to your disability, like housing, transportation, education, and so much more, you will not get taxed on that earnings, which means you have been able to use tax-free growth to pay and improve your quality of life. Who is eligible for the ABLE account? The ABLE Act limits eligibility to individuals with disabilities that started before the age of 26. So you can technically open the account after 26, but your disability must have began before the age of 26. You can open the account for yourself, or you can open the account as a guardian of someone, as the parent of someone with disability, or as someone with power of attorney. The main thing is that the beneficiary that you assign to the account must have a disability and must have incurred that disability before the age of 26. Now, the range of disabilities will vary, and there is no list that they provide, but you do need to get a certification from a licensed physician, doctor of medicine, doctor of dental surgery to receive eligibility to open this account. In the case of Britt from Millennial Money, she would qualify to open an ABLE account because she incurred her disability at the age of 19. So this could potentially be another account that she could fund to help her down the line. If you are a parent watching this might also be another account that you would open for your child, again, to help save up some money for future expenses. And then if you are someone with this disability, this might be something to look into so that you can supplement your own personal savings to help you today and tomorrow. What qualifies as a disability under the ABLE Act? While I was not able to find a list, if you already receive benefits under SSI and your disability was incurred before the age of 26, you will automatically qualify for the ABLE account. If you don't use benefits under SSI, what you'll need to do is just make sure you have a disability certification from a licensed physician, doctor of medicine, doctor of oral surgery, to ensure that your disability is accepted for use with the ABLE account. Now, what then qualifies as a disability expense? If you recall, the goal of this account is to be able to use earnings and growth from the account tax-free for qualified disability expenses. And again, there's no list of these qualified disability expenses, but here is what the IRS publication has written down for what that means. And of course, I will also share that IRS publication link so you can read more about it and see how it changes over time. So per the IRS, qualified disability expenses include those for education, housing, transportation, employment training and support, assistive technology, personal support services, health, prevention and wellness, financial management, administrative services, legal fees, expenses for oversight and monitoring, and funeral and burial expenses. So what can you invest in inside an ABLE account? Just like a 529 plan, you can invest in a mutual funds or money market funds. There's also a few programs that allow you to put your money into a checking account and a savings account. And they provide you these options so that you can have a more diversified portfolio. Keep in mind that when you are investing in something like a mutual fund, you want to be aware of what's investing in, as investing in stocks and equities will be a little bit more volatile and risky. And if you need to access these funds in the short term, that might not be the right place to put your money. A checking or savings account could be a good option to park your money in case you need it in the short term. The money won't grow as fast, but it will be safe. So if you are investing on your own, just keep it in mind that understand when you need to access your money so that you are distributing it properly and you're able to access it at the time that you need it, and you really understand the risk of where your investments are going through. Many of the state programs do offer educational financial investments tied with their programs. So look to see if that's available. Look to see what kind of fees are part of your investments so that your money isn't getting eaten up by fees. How much money can be put into an ABLE account? The ABLE account for 2022, and this will change each year due to inflation, so you will need to review it with the IRS website. But for 2022, individuals, families, and friends contributing to the account, the max limit is $16,000. If you are an individual with a disability and are working but not participating in an employer sponsored plan or a pension plan, you can put an additional around $12,000 into the account from your earned income. So this will be another way for you to add on to that savings so that you can grow the balance of that account. Now, I mentioned that family and friends can absolutely contribute to the account. So this could be parents, guardians, friends that want to help you. They can put money into the account so that it can also grow over time for your future expenses. The contribution limit that I shared is for the year, and the money that is contributed must be post-tax. So it must be money that's already been taxed. And unfortunately, there is no additional federal income tax deductions available if you contribute to the account. However, I mentioned earlier in the video that if you look specifically for your state, and if your state offers state income deductions, that might be another way to save a little bit more money while you contribute to this account. Does the ABLE account affect other government benefits? The good news here is that it largely does not affect the government and means tested benefits like FAFSA, HUD, SNAP, and food programs. Remember that this is a private supplement, so it is not supposed to supplant and replace the government benefits. It is in addition, a private way for you to put more money aside for expenses for disability. Now, there is impact on the SSI, the supplemental security income, and only when your ABLE account balance reaches $100,000. And once you do go below that $100,000 threshold, the SSI can be reinstated back for you. Now, some of these withdrawals and distributions from the ABLE account may affect state programs, so you will need to review your state information to understand its impact on that. There's also some impact if you take a distribution from the ABLE account to use for housing, and that might affect some housing eligibility. For some states, upon the death of the beneficiary, the state may make claims to the funds inside the ABLE account for Medicaid benefits. One thing to note too is that if you have a 529 plan and unfortunately those funds are unable to be used because the beneficiary has incurred a disability, it is possible to roll over those funds from a 529 account to an ABLE account so that it can be used for expenses. So instead of using that money for education related expenses, it will now be able to use for disability related expenses. Something to keep in mind is should something happen and you need to shift the purpose of those accounts for disability related expenses instead. How do you make sure you choose the right ABLE account? I mentioned that ABLE accounts are state run, and as of January 2022, there are now 49 states that offer ABLE programs. So, what you'll need to do is read through some of those state programs and see which one is right for you. A few things to consider. One, look to see what kind of benefits your state offers and if those benefits align with your goals and needs. Two, understand what kind of documentation is required to open an ABLE account and participate in the program. Three, look to see how much contribution you'll need to make to the ABLE account. What's the initial fee to open an account, if there's any? Is there a minimum required to open an account? Four, look through the investment options to make sure they fit your needs. Look to make sure what the fees are, how the fees will be charged, and how much they will be so that your investments do not get eaten up by fees. And lastly, look for additional benefits the programs may offer, like financial literacy programs, other educational programs that might help you down the line. These programs vary from state to state, so it's good to understand what the states offer to make sure they fit. I just want to share with you one of the resources I'm leaving in the description, and it is to the ABLE National Resource Center, ablenrc.org, and they do have some great tools and information that you can browse through to learn more about the ABLE programs. And I want to show you this 3-state comparison tool so you can understand how each state programs vary. I've chosen New Jersey, which is my home state, New York, our neighboring state, and Illinois, where Britt is from in the Millennial Money video. And there'll be some questions that they'll go through. Does this program offer enrollment out of state? You'll see New Jersey does and Illinois, but not New York. What other benefits, like state income tax deduction? New Jersey does not, New York does not, but Illinois does. You'll see some questions about, do they insure money in the checking accounts, and you'll get a confirmation of that as well. You'll also see what the minimums are for the accounts, some of the fees. So it might be a good idea to just compare plans to make sure that you're using the right one and ensure that the ABLE account you have really fits within your needs. Again, there's now over 49 programs, so I'm sure it's possible to find one that fits your needs today. And the last thing you'll want to consider is to see if an ABLE account is beneficial or on par with a special needs trust. Now, I think the barrier to entry with an ABLE account is fairly easy and fairly minimal in terms of cost, so an ABLE account might be the easier account to open. However, if you have complex needs, speaking with a special needs advisor, financial advisor, or lawyer might also be beneficial so that you can get your financial planning. I will leave again some links in the description so that you can do a comparison whether an ABLE account is right for you or whether you need a special needs trust or if it's beneficial to have both of them in place to ensure you have the right plans for your future. Thank you so much for tuning in. Give this video a like if you found it helpful. Please also share it with someone who may not be aware of what an ABLE account is. And don't forget to subscribe to Sisters for Fi, where we share money lessons every Thursday. Thank you. Bye.